Okay, so as you can see, this is something new topic today. It's the testng framework. Now, why testng framework and how does it help? It is helpful for Selenium automation. Okay, so testng framework is a kind of it's a existing framework where normally the developers use this to run their code. I mean, if you remember on the QA testing terminologies while we discussed at the initial sessions, there's something called as white box testing. So white box testing is what you need to see the data flow, how your data is flowing across your code. So now see, whenever we say we are testing, even the developers are testing their code to make sure that their code will work. But maybe their way of testing might be different than what we do, because we do kind of a look and feel, we do manually or we do automation handling on those things, but the developers normally will test their code itself, how their code works without the UI. So for that reason, normally the Java developers used to use the I mean, they are still using testng framework. Now what is this? If you read the line, it says that this framework helps to run methods in a guided manner. So now what it does, it gives you an flexibility to run your test or the methods. I mean, now from now onwards we will call our methods as a test, or else sometimes we call it as methods. Okay, now so how we can download it, what and all things, we will see everything. Now while doing testing, we need not to have any main method. If you remember, always we used to write our logic inside a main method, public static void main, then in bracket string args, then we used to start that. But in real time scenarios, we don't write in thread.main. I mean, there won't be any thread.main method. So now what we, because we are guiding the manner, I mean the way we have to execute our test. Now, if you are not understanding properly the theory part, you will be coming to know while we will enter to the what you call the usage of that. Okay. So now how do we download it? Now before downloading and before showing you the exactly how the test engine looks like, I'll just give you some certain important things or the advantage of testng, which might motivate you to to know more about testng. Now what happens? See, whenever we are in real time, whenever we do any kind of like a framework, you will never see a main method there. I mean, mostly in 99% you won't see that. Now why we don't see that? Because every test case will contain certain functionalities. Now what happens, every time we can't just write one Java, create a Java file, there put a main method, and then inside that I will write a logic, let's say one login functionality. Then again I will create another Java file where I will create, where I will book a flight in the new tour application. Again I will create a new main method into a new Java file. Now what happens, let's say I have 10 test cases. One is for login functionality, one is for booking a flight, the third one may be what you call seeing your booked flight. I mean, whatever the functionalities are there. So there will be 10 test cases. Now if all the 10 Java files, what I will do, I will create a main method in each Java file. Then how do I run it? Manually I need to run, right? Like how I used to do that. I used to open my Java file, then I used to do a right click and run as. I mean, for example, what I'm telling. So let's say I want to run this. So let's say this is a test case. What I used to do, run as and then Java application. Now let's say I created like this, all these test cases I need to execute. So do I need to go each and every Java file and then right click and run as Java application? That is a manual intervention. I mean, if you have now, let's say that after 2 years, your test case count was 200. Now 200 times will you do right click and run a Java application? That is not a good idea. So what we need to do now, testng given some flexibility where you can run multiple Java files at one shot. That is one advantage of that. And there is one more advantage. As I told you, we can guide the way it will execute. I mean, which one will should execute first, which one should execute later, because I told you, see, now whenever we want to execute something, what you do usually, whenever you are working on some web application, the first thing we do login functionality means your login test case should execute first, because it has to be passed, then only you can get into the other things, right? So testng gives us a priority. On what priority? We can run my Java files. That is one point. And the second thing, it reduces your manual intervention. And the third thing, I'll tell you the third thing, like, okay, currently okay, so I'll give you a small example. So let's say that I'm fetching some data, so I'm testing database. I mean, so there is something on your web application, and I want to fetch some data from database and compare with my the what you call the web browser data. Because if you remember, we discussed something called as a database testing. Now, what is database testing? Where we are checking the consistency of the database data with respect to our web application. Now whatever in the web application it is showing, it should fetch the complete 100% data from the database. There should not be any lag or cropping of data, missing of data. So now what happens, let's say that I am executing 10 test cases, 10 Java files, and where I want to open my database. Now do I need to open each time I am executing my my test cases? That is quite I mean, I feel it's a tired job, because every file, every Java file, you will say, okay, open the database, perform something, close the database. Again, second test case, what I will do, open the database. Then again it is a time consuming, because you need to keep your database open till your all the test cases are done. Now what you need to do, now I told you, testng gives you a to run your methods in a guided manner. So why don't we leverage the I mean, why don't we take the advantage of the testng, and why don't we keep open that database, or we will write a short method where to open the database and keep it open till all your 10 test cases are executed. Then at the end of the 10 test cases, we will tell that, okay, now you can close the database. So now you can see, now we saved a certain amount of time here. Now testng gives us a flexibility to execute a particular method before some test cases are run and after some test cases are run. That is one advantage. Keep it focused, actually, what I am telling. The advantage, these are, I mean, not theory parts, these are the real-time examples I am telling, whichever we are using in our day-to-day automation. Now the fourth advantage is that, let's say, if you remember in our test case template, the Excel sheet, we mentioned that every test case we execute, we have to, I mean, open the URL, log into that URL, perform some action and log out, and then close the browser. Now that is what the funda. I mean, at the beginning of the test case, you need to open the URL, log in. At the end of the test case execution, close the URL, close the log out and close the URL. Now what happens? So every test case again I am performing that. Now what happens, the testng gives us a way, if we write setting there one annotation or something, we will write kind of a tag, which will, the testng will come to know that, okay, before running this method do this, after running the test case do this. We will see that how we can handle it. Now there are still some more advantages are there, but I won't be telling those things, it will be quite confusing. But these four things whatever I told, this might motivate you to learn more, or to, I mean, you should be learning actually this one. Because if you talk about any kind of framework, I mean, you might have searched in Google or somewhere what kind of selenium what you call models we are using. Some you would have seen their page object model, somebody is giving you hybrid framework. Now what and all are those things? Irrespective of whatever the model you are using or you are about to tell in interview, it doesn't matter. Every framework should use testng, because of its all the flexibilities which I just mentioned. These 3 to 4 main advantages, which I mean, what you call, even a startup guy can understand that. Okay, now let's straightly get back to the implementation part. Okay, so now what exactly we need to do, like we were executing like what you call our Java codes, Do I need only Eclipse or do I need to do something else? No, we need to do something else to what do you call integrate test engine framework into my Eclipse. So what we need to do, there is a download link which I given. Let's open this and understand what it is telling. So now let me open this. So it gives you some options here. Okay, so it is giving something to you. How do you install it? Now whenever I say some kind of a tool, and some people say testng is a tool, some people say it as a framework, doesn't matter what you need to do. So you people might not have a default testng in your Eclipse. If it is there, well and good, but just double check whether you have or not. Okay, now what it is telling, use Eclipse marketplace to update or to install that. So it's kind of a Eclipse plugin actually, like Firepath we installed for Mozilla Firefox, right? So this is kind of a plugin to the to the Eclipse. Now where is Eclipse marketplace? Here you can see something called as marketplace help, then Eclipse marketplace. Okay, so here it gives you certain what do you call, some options to you. Okay, so let's see what and all are fetching. So it's fetching some all available what do you call your plugins. Okay, so now let's search testng if it is there. Okay, see here you can see testng for Eclipse. Now I already installed, that's why it is not giving me an option to install it. But see JUnit helper, something I didn't install it, so it's asking to install. So when you initially, I mean whenever initially you want to install the testng for Eclipse, you will see here one install option. Just click on that install, that's it. You need not to do anything, it's so easy. Okay, so you can do that. Go to the Eclipse marketplace and search for testng. You'll get a testng for Eclipse, then install that. That's it. This is the first step you need to do, nothing else you need to do. Okay, now this is to install that. Now we'll see, okay, how we can. So what I will do, I'll just create a new package, testng1. Just I'm giving something. Okay, so now see, normally what we used to do, we used to do a class actually, create a new class whenever I want to create a Java file. But what you can do, if you install the testng, that you will get something called as a testng class. See, you will see this one. Okay, testng class. What do you need to do? The give package name, yes, I want to keep it in underscore testng1. Now class name, like as usual, whatever the class name we used to give it. So let's say that we will give test case 1, simple thing, something test case 1. Don't worry about this annotations XML suite file, we will see in coming like what you call sessions, what exactly we need to do all these things. Simply just do this and click on finish. Now you will see something newly created. Before, what it used to do, if you create a new Java file, what it will give public class. Till here it is all same. Here what it used to do, instead of public void, it used to give you what you call public static void main, and there is no test tag here. And this is not exactly a tag. In technical terminology, we call it as an annotation. I'll tell you what is that annotation itself, but just let me execute something. So here, so now let's say this is my first testng method. Okay, something it's just to give. Now if you do a right click, run as, you will see, you won't see Java application because there is no main method. So now we are not running the Java file, we are running a testng file. Now click on this. See, if you see, there is no difference with the this project structure. Everything will remain same, only your this thing will remain different. Okay, so now right click on this and right click testng. I'll tell you what will happen. Okay, so you would not have seen this one before because you would have seen directly it was giving here one small text. This is my test engine method, the output. But this is something different you got. I'll tell you what and all these things. Need not to worry about that. Just see here one thing. So it gives you the output, whatever the output you, whatever the testng class you run, the output is this one. Now here something it is telling passed means it is telling that whatever the function void f function, this is nothing but your method you were running, it successfully ran it. So what it is showing, testng run. Yes, how many tests are run? I told you test or method, it's all same. So one test method run. Failures, there are no failures. Skips, skips means there are any methods which got skipped. No, this didn't skip it. Now this is all about leave about those things, how many time, how much time it took, what and all these things. But simple thing is that this is what you need to understand. Okay, now you will see something here, result. Now result it is giving, so this is kind of a reporting also. It means see, now you can understand one more benefit of this. Means it gives you a report of your execution, whether your test case got passed or got failed. Those things it will give you a, what you call, in a summary format. So if you see, this is something green actually. So now see, failed test, nothing is there. Summary, if you see what it says, it took only 0.01 second. Class count, how many classes I ran? Only one class I ran. Methods, only one method. See how much detailed information it is giving. And this is, so nicely it is giving. Okay, so that is one of the advantages of that. So you need not to worry how much I told, just focus only those things. Later we'll see step advanced features we will see one by one. Okay. So now we will see certain annotations. If you observe into this document, so testng offers certain annotations to run the methods in a guided manner. Like I told you, when to open the database, when to open your browser, when to close your browser, when to log in, when to log out. These things, all these things you can manage by using these particular annotations. So testng gives you an all these annotations to execute your test cases. Okay, now this theory part, no need to worry about that. Whenever you get a free time, you just read those things. I just mentioned, if you have ever any doubt about that, you can see, but I always prefer to have a practical implementation rather than just going through all these big theories what it says. Okay, now I'll just modify this into bit something, then we will get into that. So now what happens, let's say something I will make here, another one before method, let's say something. Okay, so let's import that particular thing, whatever it is there, the package. Okay, and here I'll say public void, and what I will do, let's say setup. Okay, so now here what I will do, I'll say that setup for running test case. Okay, and okay, I'll give you in real time what I do normally. Let's say that I'm not giving you the implementation, the code behind that, just I'm saying how it is running. So login to the application, this is my first thing I do always, right, whenever you go for something. Then here something I will say, verify login credentials. Okay, This is my first thing. Then next thing what I need to do after method, okay, public void, okay, so I will say close some method. I'm just giving, as you can understand that. So what is that? Import the package, and here I will say what I need to do. I mean, I logged into the application, then I checked the verifying the login credential. Then what I need to do? I need to say log out and close browser. I mean, in real time, you need to give the code actually to that. Now see, I created three methods here with some setting annotations. Now let's run it and see what it is coming. Okay, so it ran successfully because your total test run is, see what it did. First it ran this particular setup method because you need to log into the application, right? Second thing, it calculated the test will be always in the middle only, whatever it is there. Then it created the login functionality, then it closed your browser. Now you might ask, okay, you maintained a sequence as per that it created. No, it doesn't matter. So initially also I can keep this. Okay, I can keep this. It doesn't matter wherever you are keeping. It just bothers it first. It will see before method. So whenever a test method will be running, the test engine will see, okay, are there any other methods I need to run before to this or after to this? Okay, so that, see why we are using this all annotations. It will make you more, your code should look very good actually. I mean, by seeing this somebody can understand what is. So now here we are writing the logic for setup, what initially has to be done, then what exactly we have to do, then it will be what after the execution what you need to do. So this is very easily you can identify, because whenever you are giving your code to the client will not bother about what you want to what you are writing the code. They want to see what logic you put in that, how beautifully you maintain your code. So like somebody in the initial sessions, they asked me, I mean, we want to hide the implementation but we want to show the business logic. So these are nothing but your business logic. You are not giving the technical stuff, how you can do driver equal to new Firefox driver. The I mean, the client doesn't give a damn about that. They don't care about that. They are hiring you. They need to see what exactly you are doing for them, how they can easily understand. Even a layman can understand that. So due to that, we are giving all these things. Okay, and it looks very good also. Even for maintaining the code also, you can easily do that. So now if you see, there is something after method and before method. See, before method, and here something after method will be there. And test is the exact the what you call the functionality which we are going to test it. Now we will see one by one all these things. Don't worry about that. Okay, now you run it, you got to know what it is done. Now you can do something. I'll tell you, this is again one more interesting thing. So you see that as well. F1 and okay, I'll tell here valid login, let's say, and here I tell invalid login something. I'm giving that. Now verify invalid login. Now this will be, you will get something interesting output if you observe this. Now I'll tell, before telling that, I'll show you what exactly it is happening. Okay, it runs so fast because it's just printing only. So we'll see something. It runs so many things. What is that? Clearly observe. It's very simple. See what it is doing. Initially what you need to do, log into the application, verify invalid login. Okay, verify invalid login. Okay, because so now verify invalid login is which one? This one. This got executed. Now the next thing what it is there, why don't I can stick to somewhere? Yes, okay, so I'm sticking this onto here so that I need not every time go there. So you can see what happened. Initially setup done. Now what happened, it verified the invalid login, then it logged out and closed the browser. Because I told you beginning of the test case, while manual test case writing, always the test case has to be written login do your task and close it. Do not keep it open for the second test case always. Okay, so now again what you need to do, logged into that, verify login credentials means which one? Verify login credentials means very valid login credential. Then log out and close the browser. Now see, if you see, this particular before method and after method executed twice because there are two test methods. If you observe here, there are two test methods. So this means now you got it something, right? So before method and after method will always run before each test method is run. Simple thing. Before method, so I told you test or method we call it. So before method, before will run. So if I now again one more test I will create, means this will be executed thrice because three test method. So how many test methods will be there? That many times this will run. Simple logic. Okay. So that is one thing you learned it. Now we'll see something here. Okay, now after test and before test we will see that. Yes, okay, after test and before test. Now what is this after test before test? After test. Okay, so public void, what we need to do, let's say that okay, I'll give one small thing. I'll change here something. Give any method name. What method name we will give? Let's say browser open something. You should give proper case sensitive. These are all case sensitives. Bit here and there also it will not execute. Okay, so now okay, just import that annotation. Okay, so now if you observe, let me just pull it down. So now what you can do, so if you observe carefully, let me squeeze it so that you can come to know these things. So what I did under this class, I maintained one after test and before test also. Okay, see, whenever I am saying after test and before test, it doesn't mean that this test before, this is not this test. I'll show you that what is this test. So for this we have to learn something interesting. I'll tell you those things. Okay, so now what we did, see, now we again made it in a different manner. So first thing, before executing this login functionality, open the URL, or I mean open the browser and invoke the URL. What is the logic we write for here? If you remember that, driver equal to new Firefox driver, you need to do that, right? You were doing that, Firefox driver. I'm just writing haphazardly. Then driver.get then the URL of that. Okay, whatever the URL. So this is what the logic, you should write that. But now I'm just giving you the description of testng, so I'm not writing everything in detail. Okay, so now this is what you were writing. So now what will happen? Now how do we run this? Directly we cannot run it. Okay, so we have something called as testng.xml. Even you can run this one. So let's see how it is happening. Let's see what is the output I'm getting. So you will see some more, see something more it came. So what it is doing, see it very clearly. Close browser means your before, why did it open close browser? You should not close browser now. After test, before test. Okay, so in this way you cannot run it. So I'll show you one small logic where you can do browser close. Okay, so for this what you need to do, you need to create a XML. Now what happens, I told you at the beginning, the advantage of testng is that not only one file, you can run multiple files as well, multiple Java files in a single page. Even you can, because whenever I write this before test and after test, this is nothing but you need to mention one XML. In that XML you need to say what and all methods should include inside that test, so that it will see. Now before method, after method is exactly before and after of that test only, test method only. But when I say after test, before test, a single after test, I mean even this both can include a single test. I'll tell you. So what you can do, directly go to this and you will get something testng. So I'll just tell that convert to testng. You will get one small XML, actually automatic it will be generated, so you need not to do anything. I will again show you that. Right click on that package, then something testng. Once you install that testng plugin, you will get something called as a testng. Convert to testng. Just you need to do this one only. You'll get one XML format. You need not to understand that. I'll let you know what is that. Now click on this and you open this. It will be always under your project folder only, that one. Now double click on this. You'll get a I mean your test engine given you one nice thing. See, this is nothing but your test tag. Now let me give you a one, what do you call, one by one explanation. This is your XML, that version, whatever version and encoding format, you need not to worry about that. Doc type also you need not to worry about that. It's just giving you a certain standards into that, so you should worry about from here to here. Now if you people don't know about XML, this is nothing but one kind of data transfer. I mean nowadays, if you, okay, I'll give you a small example. Let's say you are like what you call, you are trying to giving some you're purchasing something on the amazon.com. Now what happens, whenever you are giving all your card details while buying that, all your details should go to your, what you call, your merchant site. Merchant means which card holder, whether you are HDFC holder or American Express or you are a JP Morgan Chase bank customer. So whatever your data, it should go to that to verify that, right, your username, port, password is correct or not, your card details are proper or not, you should have balance in that. So these are all informations, your browser to browser, they are talking each other by using XML format. So it's one kind of a lightweight format. It's quite similar to your HTML. Just the thing is that we call it as tags. These are also your attributes only as usual, and these are all tags actually. Now suite is a parent tag. Inside suite I have a test tag. Now like in HTML, if you remember, every beginning tag there is a closing tag. So if it is a suite you are mentioning here, you should close that, this suite tag. So if you are writing a test, somewhere you need to close it. Classes, you need to close a classes. Okay. So now what happened? Should means a should can have more than one Java files, because I told you it can execute multiple Java files. We'll see a quick example of that also later. Now test means what kind of test you are running into that. So a single test can have multiple classes or it can have multiple methods as well. I'll show you those things, but let's only run this particular. How do you same way? Now see, I need not to write and now double and do this one, because now even this XML itself I can run it. So right click on that XML and then you run as testng should. Now why we are always trying to execute through XML? Even this XML you can take and you can run in command prompt also, so that what happens, whenever you are running a batch file or continuous integration, you can take this XML and you can run also that one. So now execute this Let's see how it is happening. So it executed. Okay. Why does close browser is running very fast? Close browser should not execute now. Okay, so we will see where is close browser, why it is running first before test. Okay, I did a small mistake. It should be after test, because always your, I mean, if you know the, if you go to somewhere, it should run in after test only, right? After you executed everything, it should run it. But what I am doing, I am running it before executing that. It should be before. So you need to remember this one as well. One small mistake here and there, you will get a full change in that. Before test, I mean, before running the test, you need to open the browser. That is the logic, right? So now let's again run that and see it. That is the only reason most of the people use this what you call tools, and most of the companies, why they are telling you to learn automation or do automation instead of manual testing. The only reason is this one only, because human can do anytime mistake. I mean, they themselves don't have the belief or trust. That's why they are making all this automation stuff. So now you can see here, it's very clear now. So initially what happens, open the browser. Now where I written that logic, I written in before test. I mean, before running any test, execute this one. So now what happened, before method is also there, but before method, before test is taking high priority. I'll give you the priority order, how it is happening. So now let me go to here and then copy paste it, so that you can understand very clearly what is that. Okay, so now what is this? This is nothing but your before test method. Okay, before test it is. Now what happened, log into application. Now where I written log into application, log into application, where it is before method, because I told you after before method, before test, before method is there. Before method. Okay, before method. Now what is this verify login credentials? This is nothing but your actual test. Now this is what after method. Okay, after method. So I'm just telling you in what priority it's running everything. Now what happens, log into the application again. What before method is running, because you have two methods. See, it didn't run now. Before test ran only once only. Now it is not running. It will run at the end only, that one before method. Then this is what exactly the test or the test case which we write in. Now this is what after method. After method, then your after test will come. Now can you understand the logic? If anybody cannot understand, please raise it, so that we can move ahead, because if you cannot understand this, then we cannot move ahead with that. It's so simple. That's why I given a what do you call, some examples, so that you can identify. So now what happens, whenever it is executing test, it will see if there is any before method or after method is there. If it is there, it will not run suddenly. It will check if there is any before test is there. So before test always takes a high priority. If it is there, it will execute it. Then it will check for before method, then test will method, then again after. So wherever before is there, again after will come following to that only. Okay, so this is your sequence. Now when I say before test is taking high priority, there is something called as before should. Now before test is inside your class file only, inside this file only. Let's say that I have another file. So now let's create a testng class. See, even I can create a normal class. I'll show you one more example. So I can create a normal as a Java class only, but I won't click on this public static void main, because I don't want that. So I'll click on finish. See, you can see here there is no main method created. But what I need to do to make it is a testng file, I have to click on test, and I need to import that particular okay, I'll tell you that why it is not happening. So directly you can copy paste this. If it is not importing properly, now see this error, that error will go. Why it is still staying here? It should not be here, but okay. So it is telling that I need to write a logic in this. So public void, um, let's say method 1, and here what logic we will say, book a flight. Let's say book a flight. This is another test case I'm running. Okay, simple thing. See, now all errors gone. Now what happens, I need to run this one and that one as well. Which one? This one also. Okay, so but I need to write, so here what I need to do now, before test is then, so here what I will do, I'll do something before should. Okay, before should, then public void dv, let's say dv start. Okay, so here I will say, here open database connection, have a database connection, okay. So now what will happen, and let's import this. Now see, and I will write again a after shoot as well. Something I'm writing here, so close database connection and just import that. Okay, so now see why I written this after shoot and before shoot. Now why I'm writing, because see, for both of these files, for both of these test cases, I want to open the database and then close the database. So open database connection. Okay, I want to do that. Now do I need to every time write these things, even copy paste and do it here? No, I don't want those things, because this is only one time task only. Throughout my execution I need to do this one. I need to keep it open, and then once I completed everything, then I can close this. Now this is, now how can I run? There are two files. Do I need to do right click and run as in this one and suddenly I will go here and do it? No, we can't. We need to link this test case 1.java and test case 2.java. For that, what I can do here, simply I'll copy another class and then change. What is that? TC2. Now TC2 is my this one, right? Under the same package only. So I'm writing package here, package name dot class name. That is what I'm mentioning. Now we'll see what is happening. See this. Now we'll get a single output for both of these test cases. Now again go to here, run as testng should. Okay, it run. There is no failures. Okay, you got some big glitch. Nothing to worry. We will see again the explanation of this. So now get it to here. What it is, you can see. First thing we will see what it is before should. Before should it is. So before should run means what you understood here. Doesn't matter wherever it is there. Under this XML, wherever I'm starting a should, before starting a should, run this particular test case, run this method, whatever it is there, before running this should, all are linking to here only. Now test will be executed. Okay, now what is it? Test means before test will execute. Now let's see if before test executed or not. Is this my before test? Yes, this is my before test. You can see here, this is my before test. Now what is XML? What it is, a class is there. Now do I have any before class and after class? Did I mention anything here? No, I didn't mention anything here. You can even have a before class, after class also. So each of the classes, before running this class, your before class will be executed. Then once the whatever the tests are there, it will execute, then after class will execute. Then here when it will go here, it will again before class and after class will be executed. So it's all related to this priority, I mean the hierarchy only, in which hierarchy these all things are happening. Okay, so you can see before shoot and after shoot. Okay, again I'm telling, it's so simple, but if you're not able to understand, let me know this. So now how many tests are there? We'll see. Log into the application. This is not my test. Where is my test? This is my test, one test. Then verify the credentials. This is my another test method or the test case. Book a flight. This is which test? Under another, this is in another file, another file.java. This one is there. Okay, so now you can see, even before running this, what it is doing, close the browser, it is checking that one as well. Now close the browser is what? After test. Okay, so after test is running. Okay, so this is what you can learn it, all these things. Try to understand these things. I will I mean, I suggest you to go through all this, I mean, take this example and run it yourself and see how it is, I mean, behaving to that. You can just give your own ways of that, and I'll give you some what you call XML formats also. Why I'm not showing today, because it will be more complicated. I'll show you some more ways of determining your what you call here. Instead of class, even I can mention the method names also directly. Okay, even I can give package name directly, so I need not to give this class 1, class 2, all these things. Directly I can say testng1. So run this testng1 here, so I can say package close, and here package name equal to testng1. Means whatever the methods are there inside this, whatever files are there, it will run everything. But if I want to run only test case 1, then I can only mention this one and then delete this one. Okay, so this is the way you can run your test cases. Even you can create your own another test case also, and you can run all those things. Okay, so now this is one of the simplest way of running your test case. Now here something you saw, right? Something you saw here, test case run, failure, skip, what and all are these things? So it's everything runs, so it is telling that test 1 of 1. Now if it is not running, we'll see what it is coming. So what I am doing, I'll create 3 test cases. Okay, I'll create one new package, and here I'm saying that testng2 something package I'm telling, and here I'll do one thing, I'll copy. Even you can copy from one package to another package. These all flexibilities are there with what you call your in Eclipse. So I will say here, and this is my test case 2. Okay, so here something, let's say int I equal to 9 divided by 0. So if you remember your academic time, 9 divided by 0, what will happen? It gives you an infinite, right? So this is not acceptable. I mean, it goes to infinite. You cannot divide a integer by a 0. It will not work it properly. So you should get an error, because this is not an acceptable one. So you'll get an error, means your this test case will not execute it. Okay, we'll see what will happen to this. Sorry, now copy it and paste it, but this time give it as test case 1 and go here, and this we will take a normal only, a past scenario only. So let's say test case 1, and here you say test case 1. Okay, so now this is done, this is done, and here you can say test case 2. Okay, now I'm taking another one, is skipping one. How even sometimes what happens, your test case can skip also due to some reason. You need not to worry about that reason. I mean, whenever you go into real time, you will see there might be. Okay, this is to make it consistent. You need to always make sure that your method name should be capital letter. Test case 3. Okay, so now what happens here, double click on this and say test case 3. Here we will intentionally we will skip this test case, we won't run. So there is something called as a throw new skip exception. This is for only showing showing purpose only I'm using. Don't worry about those things. Test case 3. Okay, I don't know which throw is it. Let's see, only throw. Okay, here. Okay, so now what will happen, I have now three test cases. Test case 1, I'm expecting it should run properly. Test case 2, it should fail running the test case because of this problem only. And test case 3, something it should skip it. It should not run at all. Means I should not see any pass or fail scenario in this. Now what will happen? I need to, now how can I run these three Java files into one? Simple concept. Right click testng, convert to testng. So see how nicely it created, but I need to give some other thing here. I need to rename it because I have already the same name. What do you call XML? Doesn't matter which name the XML. It's never a mandatory thing that the XML should be testng. It's not like that. You can give any one of this. I'll tell you in real time. You should rename this XML. The reason I'll tell you in coming sessions. So now right click run as what you need to do. Testng should. Okay, see now something you will get interesting here. What it say? It only run test case 1 only. Okay, so means total how many tests you ran? 3 tests. In that, one is failure, one is skip. How do you know that? I told you we can see a format also. Here you can see here passed green, this one failed red with cross mark, skipped orange with cross mark. Okay, so here you can see. So this is ran successfully. Here you can see some error you got. Even you can see what is that error also. So now you can see how testng is good to what you call use it, because it is giving the detailed of that. So it is telling something Java lang arithmetic exception divided by 0. It means you should not divide by 0. You need not to worry about that. Learn about arithmetic exception. Just for example purpose only I given this. Now this one, what it says, failure, because it didn't execute itself only. It got skipped. That's why the color is orange here. Okay, so this is what, just to show this one I maintain this one. Okay, so in real time by seeing this report, you can come to know if how many test cases are run, how many got failed because of some error it got. Because when you run all these test cases, you need to again look into that, the summary of that, which this test engine is helping you. But this is not at all, I mean, the end of the test engine. Even now I'll show you a nice feature before ending this session. So something what you need to do, go and refresh this project. You will see something came as a test output. Let me close all these things you don't need any longer. Even let me minimize this. So okay, now you will see something called as a test output. It is by default will be created whenever you are running a testng.xml. Okay, you will see something here called as emailable report. Now what is this? Right click on that, open with web browser. So if you can't see properly here, what you can do, you can even copy it and you can go to your normal browser, and here you will run it. Okay, see nicely you got a nice view here. Everything will be written here. So you run test. What is that? First the test case, see it is giving you which package, which method, and what got So due to this, due to some problem, this got failed. Now this is what, due to some exception, you could not able to execute this one as well. But if you see this one, this got executed. See, this got executed. So it is giving you a very nice user, what you call, way. So passed one, skipped one, failed one, how much time it took for all these things. Only 32 seconds it given, it took only. See, this report directly you can give a screenshot to your client. This is what I executed, your client, or you will see, or to your team lead, or to your manager, to anybody you can give this one. So this is one of the way. So you need not to write a big long script just to give all these details. Okay, so this is one more way of that. So even you can see the XML, which XML you run it also. So open with the text. Okay, no, not this one, sorry. I'll get here, testng results, no, not that. Failed XML, you will see what is this one, failed XML. See, what and all are got failed. So you can see that one in here. That one, see, test got failed because of something, because of test 2 it got failed. Okay, so you are getting a nice view of that. And whichever the test case, test ng, this is nothing but your, the, what you call, this one we executed, right? So we executed this one and you got this report here, right?